This is Zyan. He's an extremely talented sample maker when it comes to making dark samples. And in this video, he will teach you everything he knows about making dark samples. Like this one right here.
So this is the contact library. That's like the flute thing. This was the main idea I started with. I think I heard like a flute sample like before, and I really liked it. And I think it also was like a Native American flute or something like that. It sounded like really similar, and I wanted to go for that sound. So I found this library, played a bit around. This is like a phrase kind of library. So just have these two notes. And because this wasn't like really on time, then I like stretched it a couple of times and edited a bit. This is what that sounds like. And I also pitched it down. So then the next thing, I just wanted to add like a sort of rhythmic element to the flute idea, but I also wanted it to be like not just like rhythmic. So I found this melody. I think it's like from a one shot.
Oh.
And then I came up with like a pretty simple pattern that repeats throughout the whole 8 bars. This is what that sounds like. I also pitched that down like the flute, and I put some reels on there just to make it sound like a bit more vintage. These are like the two sounds together. Then the next thing I added was the space. It's the X space. I think this is also like not that well known, but it's like a pretty
Never
cool
seen
contact
that. What is that?
space. I think like for example, like the Rickenbacker, it's just like a bit too overused.
Yeah.
And I think I saw this in like a stream from Okami. It's like a really fire sample maker.
Yeah.
So I got this as well, and then I played like a simple bass line along.
Ooh, the deep note is nasty.
This is what that sounds together. So at this point, I was like, okay, this sounds like pretty good already, but I wanted to like add like few things just to like spice it up. So I think the next thing I added was like a whistle. Yeah, this is like a whistle from the Spaghetti Western contact library. I think this is a bit more well known by Big Fish Audio. It's also pretty fire. It's just like something that's in the background. This is what that sounds like. It actually sounds like a flute kind of, especially with like the other things playing. And I also put like some reels on there just to make it sound more vintage, and some reverb to make it sound a bit more spaced out. So this is what that sounds all together.
Ooh, I like that whistle in there. I didn't even notice it the first time hearing it, but now it like adds some nice background feeling.
By the way, there are also like many things on here. I think I didn't even use everything of this. I usually just like try a lot of things out during the process to really make sure what I add in the end sounds like it's like the best result, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and then I actually was finished, but I think it got like boring over time. So I thought I would just like add like a little bit of a switch up. Oh yeah, the thing I forgot to mention, I added also this like reverse one shot that also gives it like a bit more texture and adds like frequencies that aren't filled already.
Yeah, and like
And then I
pushes the
also
sample
added
on.
this texture and just pitched it up. I think on the one shot I added some like delay or some reverb. Yeah, I added some just some simple reverb. And then I added the switch shot. And there I just started with like this also more unknown, but like really fire synthesizer. So a Model 72 synthesizer system. I think this is like the closest thing to like a real sounding synthesizer.
Huh.
It sounds really good. Um, this is the pattern that I came up with. For effects, I added some good hertz wall control just to add like a little bit of like wobble and to detune it a bit. Then I added some reverb again and some delay just to make it sound a bit
Hmm.
more
Oh, that's interesting, the delay.
spaced out. Then I added um, some synth chords from the Prince. I think this is also like a well-known plugin
Yeah.
because it's by Frank Hughes. And these are just like some simple chords. It's actually even the same chord. I just added the A on top of the second one to add like a variation
Yeah.
to it. Um, for this one, I put some,
Almost the same effect.
yeah, I think it might even be like the exact same presets. It's again some good hertz for control to like add some detune, some reverb again, and some delay.
But less mix on the reverb, okay.
And then I think this is the last thing I added. This is again the
Ooh,
Model 72 synthesizer system.
there's an knob at the bottom. I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, here you can, for example, control the bend range. It took me a while to figure that out. I actually think you just could like pitch bend it to like two
But how do you open this?
semitones. I don't even know. Oh, just like by clicking down here.
Why are they not explaining that? It's so hidden. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Um, and this is the bass.
Yeah, the pitch control is nice.
For this, I added nothing. I think it sounded like already perfect the
Yeah.
way it was. To make the transition a bit smoother from like the more organic sounding flute
Mhm.
kind of sample to the synth the bass stuff, I added this like little um yeah transition. And I think this was already like the whole sample. And the
Okay.
thing up here looks like a bit more complicated, but that's just me like trying different stuff out. And what I also usually like to do is add all these sounds to like Fruity Slicer. That's why I rendered all of these out, and then I just render them out to give it like that chopped up feel that like a real sample has. For that, I usually just turn the attack and the decay a bit up in 3D Slicer, and when I like all sounds individually out. And I think that's already it for the sample. That's everything I did.
That's sick. Also, a tip for that, you can use LFO tool. Nami uses that to get like the choppy feeling.
Oh yeah, definitely. We need to try that.
But if you want to learn about some more complex samples, you should check out this video where two insanely talented sample makers broke down their collab sample. Peace.